Miltivet, welcome to the Scuttlebutt. We are really happy to have you here. We're really happy to tune you in and then to share some new updates of what's going on both in our lives and what's going on around the veteran world. Me, Jonathan Yogi Hernandez, and then we have Chris and Megan.
Hi, everyone.
What's up, everybody? It's good seeing y'all.
Yeah, and I want everyone to know that Chris was late today and not Yogi,
6 o'clock is the showtime, and I
just
was
because this
here
is
at
a constant.
6 o'clock. I get it. It wasn't 15 minutes early like some people would like us to be, and some people are never, and that would be that guy right there.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Speak for yourself. Evidence shows some of us showed up early. Just
Hey,
saying.
we could all do better with a little bit of
Are you
time
French?
management, huh? Oh,
Chris,
we.
I didn't know you were French. Oui, oui.
We. My goodness,
But
it's
Chris,
been it's
what
been a
is going on in the world of Washington
Chris
and veteran community?
and Chris. Chris's world,
Yes,
not Wayne's
Oh
world.
my
Chris's
yes.
goodness,
world.
Chris. Yeah, Chris's world. Well, Chris's world, you might as well grip and grin because we've been running around. I did a ride along today with the Mill Creek Police Department. That was really fun. But back onto veteran things. Recently, Snohomish County they had a successful stand down, veteran stand down over at the Everett Community College. And that went phenomenally well. There were so many veteran vendors there. There was care providers. There was the DAV, VFW, Heroes Cafe, Rock 22. There was so many veterans there getting the help and resources that they needed, and it was really great. It was great to be there, and I met some amazing people in our community that are helping out some veterans. So I want to do a shout out to the DAV and Heroes Cafe. They did some great work there, and college's veteran resource center. They're stepping up their game. They truly are. So every community college they're doing a great job over there. So I'm a little partial though because I might have attended Everett Community College, but and also try to help them out as much as possible. So yeah, they that was really awesome. And some other things that happened. We had, we celebrated 250 years this year, this month. 4th of July, 250 years of a nation,
Woo.
and the VFW put on a memorial. Put on not a memorial, put on a 4th of July celebration of 250 years, and we did a march down the sidewalks. We all brought out our American flags, and we went over to the Carnegie Building where the VFW's memorial for veterans was at, and they're also raising money to increase the area and make it better, make it a better memorial. So if you're in the Washington Snohomish area, VFW post 921 out of Snohomish, Washington, they are fundraising right now to build up that memorial so that way we can honor those who have served. And also it's important for us to share that history, with the youth, so that way they know what sacrifices were made, so that way we have the freedoms we have today. So that was really an amazing event, seeing all of Snohomish get together, and kind of like a small town feel that Snohomish is usually known for. But this is actually the first time in 100 years that this has happened on 4th of July, and followed up by the Klahia Day celebrations, and then which is a big festival that happens after 4th of July, and it's just really awesome. On some other news, if you guys want to put up the graphic really quick, Washington State did not do so hot on Wallet Hub's best and worst states for military retirees. In fact, we fell down in the rankings We are now 48 out of 51. Now, granted, this is Wallet Hub and it's not an official metric. So I just want you guys to take this with a grain of salt. And some of the things that they really look at is cost of living, how much money or how far your money goes in our state. So cost of taxes. There's a real barrier for taxes. They pass some laws to decrease the ratings. One of the things I'd like to see change in our state is to get our number to number one. Washington State can be number one, and I would like to see that happen. And I'm committed to making that happen if I do get elected for state representative. I will be crafting policies that put veterans in the forefront because when you attract more veterans here and you have policies that make them want to stay, you're going to attract a great community to our state. And so yeah, we did not do so hot on the military wallet, but it was really nice to see a great celebration this year. 4th of July, there's a ton of patriotism and a ton of friends out there. Oh yeah, that's kind of what's been happening in my neck of the woods. How about you, Yogi? How you been?
Well, it has been a roller coaster of emotions. First thing I want to mention, I want to give a shout out to Minority Veterans of America, which they are actually in your neighborhood. Uh, I just was elected as one of their board members for the program, and they actually have a housing that transitioning service members can use while they're finding their footing, while they're transitioning out, and they can go over there and they can stay for a couple days. There's the main office is also in your neck of the woods. It's over there in Washington State, and just a lot of different beautiful programs that they're working on. So Minority Veterans of America, if you haven't heard of them, huge shout out. And then now here is where the fun begins, right? So these last few months, I have been working with the Warrior Scholar Project, and Warrior Scholar Project, for everyone that doesn't know, is a education preparation um, project, right? It helps both transitioning service members, active duty service members, and veterans transition into higher education. This year is their 15th year anniversary. They have graduated over 3,000 veterans through their program. And the beautiful thing about this program is not like anything else, right? The average program that does education for the VA is approximately a 47% graduation rate. Everyone that has been a part of the Warrior Scholar Project has an over approximately 88% either graduation rate and or program acceptance rate. And then they not only do they go to their bachelor's, but they go beyond. This year, the Warrior Scholar Project was able to add 3 schools to their repertoire. One of them was the College of Charleston. The other one was Loyola, and then Dartmouth, which I was able to be at Dartmouth. And honestly, Morgan O'Green, big shout out. Uh, she just got into this position, and she is a Naval Academy graduate, also including a pilot, and now is the veterans representative for Dartmouth. And oh my God, when I tell you it was such an amazing experience, there's multiple articles that were written, multiple stories, and it was just an amazing experience. And this year, I was able to be a fellow for the Warrior Scholar Project, and I was able to go to Yale University, Cornell, uh, and Dartmouth as a fellow. And I also had the privilege to be the second ever fellow that went back into the classroom as a participant. And I went to the College of Charleston for business. And oh my God, I thought last year was amazing. this year was transformational. Last year it changed my life. This year just took it up to the next level. I cannot keep on saying anything but good things about the Warrior Scholar Project. Please check it out. You're doing yourself a favor. You're doing another veteran a favor. And the warriorscholarproject.org, go to it, look at it. There's also a Coursera project online that you can see it if you don't have the abilities to go to these schools during the summer and winter. What about you, Megan?
That's amazing, Yogi. Up here in Orange, since you're down there in San Diego, but also trotting all around the US, and Chris is all the way up there in Washington. Really, a lot has been happening in Orange County with the Orange County Veterans and Military Families Collaborative, as well as with Human Works. For those of you who don't know, I'm the vice chair of the Orange County Veterans and Military Families Collaborative. And so, a story was recently shared that Post 291 came and helped an older adult veteran who was needing in home care assistance, and unfortunately, the living conditions weren't that great, so it made it difficult for the in home care nurses to come and take care of him. And so Post 291 actually was able to pay for a company to come in and clean it. And then so now he can receive that in home care assistance. He's the veteran's 80 years old, so he needed that assistance and has no family here. So I think this just goes to the power when we come together in the veteran community. We are there to help support individuals that might fall through the cracks. And so I think that it's just a beautiful story that, like I said, was shared with me last week. And then two, Post 291 always has those the monthly coffee talks. Usually it's the first Saturday of every month. And so they have the one coming up in August, but the one that we had this month in July was also a resource fair. And so always really well attended. But again, these are just the power of coming together. And Post 291 does a great job. And Corey V. Hill, who's the service officer there, just does an amazing job. And yeah, and with Human Works, we're doing a lot of great stuff with our Valor program, which helps uh, veterans who are incarcerated help them transition to the community. So we go in every week along with Santa Ana College and US Vets, and just trying to be a consistent face and support for them, and letting them know what resources are out there, answering their questions for the time that we're in there, that were so graciously allowed with the Orange County Sheriff's Department to go in there with our program. And we have one vet that wasn't in there for very long, like about 2 months, and he has fully taken advantage of all the resources that are available in Orange County, and he is doing amazing. He wasn't going to have housing. He has housing. He wasn't going to go to school. He's going to school. He's enrolled in the VRE. There's all these different programs that he has got connected to. And again, it just go to show the power of collaboration, and how when we come together, we can support these veterans that um, maybe wouldn't normally have access to these resources, but um, you know, just making sure that no man or woman is left behind. So that's
And
what's happening
you know,
here.
and that's the whole purpose that any of this exists, right? And why we even started any of this, to be able to share the resources, to be able to come as a community and help everyone that is within our reach, to be able to provide some of those resources and help. And we've been doing this separately, but being able to share those stories here online to reach a broader audience is just amazing, more Megan. And I'm really really happy for everything that you're doing.
It's not just me, it's everyone else, and all the things that you guys are doing in your area, right? I think it just goes to show that there is a veteran community wherever you're at when where you're living, and it's just trying to figure out and get connected to that.
Yeah.
Oh no, the dumpster fire is showing.
Oh, typical Chris. He probably overbooked.
Must be because he was late.
Oh, shots fired. See, he has nothing to say. Wah, wah, wah. I don't
Oh
even know if he can hear
no,
us.
he has census.
Oh, this is fun. And then with that, we were trying to bring our friend
Chris.
online um, to see where he was. Ralph Figueroa.
I think
He's also the.
my signal's going in and out.
Oh
Hey, there
geez.
he is. He's in and out. Are you? What are you back in California?
Oh man. Okay. My signal went completely out there for a moment. So I was actually watching you guys on my phone, and then also my signal came back.
Okay.
That is hilarious.
Is that because you're in a 48 state?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's so bad here that
oh,
our Wi-Fi isn't working anymore. No, I may be experiencing some technical difficulties because I am moving my office to the basement of my house. So,
So you have AC or it's just cooler? Because I
oh, I
remember
finally, okay, look,
last month you were like dying,
I
right?
finally have AC. Finally. It's only taken 3 years of doing this, of mill to vet, to finally have an AC control space. So I feel like I'm moving up. And, I am a little jelly though, because look at you. You got a palm tree behind you. It's probably beautiful where you're at. And don't get me
I'm
wrong,
s-
Washington's beautiful too, but nothing beats the Orange County and San Diego area,
I think
on
I'm
a
about to
nice
put a
summer
sweater
day.
on. I think it's cool over here.
Oh my goodness.
Yogi, I wouldn't go that far. Okay. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm just
Okay.
saying. I got my AC right here, and it's pretty cold, pretty chilly. So
Yeah, you're wearing
Yeah.
long sleeve pants and your signature overalls when it's like
that's
I
right.
mean, what's the temp down there? I mean, like right now, I'm sitting outside, it's really nice. It's 78 degrees. Doesn't feel like 78 degrees, but that's also because the sun's going down. It's very peaceful. Yeah.
So I think over here is like 74, 75. But it was too hot outside, so I came inside and turned
Oh,
the AC on, and it's at
I'm
72.
so sorry. I'm so sorry,
Oh,
man.
what's the temp up there?
Seth McCurry. Oh, hey, they are live. Yes, we are live, Seth. Thank
Yeah,
you
we
for
are
joining
live.
us.
We are alive. Hold on one second. Yep, I have a pulse.
Oh, I was gonna say
So,
you're alive. Oh, okay.
so
We do exist, we promise.
no, it hasn't been that hot. I mean, there's been a couple days where it hit 90, and I tell you what, for Washington State, that is really hot, and we're not used to it. But my wife recently went to Arizona, and oh
Oh,
my gosh, it got
Hey,
really,
was it like
really.
119?
It was like
so
123, and like that's the hottest it got, and it was insane. I wasn't there. I was here campaigning. I can't go nowhere. So it looks like we got a special guest that's coming
we do,
on.
we do.
Yogi, you're gonna have to introduce the special guest to everybody.
Well,
And
there we go. There, the man, the myth, the legend, Ralph Figueroa. He
Hi.
is located in the LA Orange County area. He is an amazing human being. I mean, titles, he has his titles galore. So I will let him do that part. Um, but what I really have always loved about Ralph is not only how humble and how much of an amazing human being he is, but one of the things, so even before this summer or this January, we were connected, right? And this January, me and him and a couple other people, we sat around and we poured our hearts out, and it was just amazing to have that kind of conversation. But Ralph, welcome, and please introduce yourself to everyone that is watching.
Well, to all the viewers, what's up, Yogi? To you guys in the studio, um, thank you for having me. So I'm actually Inland Empire, not LA. I grew up in LA County, but I do a lot of work. Just Southern California is my home. That's how I like to say it, because there's no one place. I'm like a nomad. I'm
Mhm.
a U.S. Army veteran. I served for 12 years in the Army. I was a field artillery guy, so I do that a lot because I can't hear most of the time. So, the Army does that
Huh?
thing. To me, it's more like a huh,
Huh?
you know. So, you know, look, I'm simply put, I'm just this veteran that does whatever he can to support other veterans and their families, and it means something to me. I met some amazing people like Yogi throughout my life's journey, and it it gives me that energy to keep going because I see them going, and it's an uplifting friendship and brotherhood that I share with a lot of people. And but some more in particular, and again, like the way Yogi and I met at Penny's. We were over at Patriots and Paws,
Yep.
another amazing organization out in Orange County that for any of the veterans out there that are looking for furniture, looking for lamps and bed frames and all that, you can go get it absolutely for free of cost. You just got to go pick it up.
Mhm.
Patriots and Paws, they're out in Orange County.
Anaheim.
Lambright is one of the most amazing human beings ever, and that's actually how I met Yogi. We started talking, and it's funny how the universe just brings people together, and I'm just very blessed and fortunate to have met so many people. Um, I in 2020, after during the pandemic, I decided to go back to school even at 43. I was like, man, I'm too old for this stuff, and I don't know if I'm smart enough to write at that level. And then I remember being in my first online class. It was all virtual at the time. Obviously, it's pandemic, and I heard them talk, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good. I'll be fine. I'm gonna be perfectly okay. And so from 2020 to 2025, I was a full-time student. I worked full-time. I have a family, and I was very fortunate that I finished my bachelor's in at Cal Poly Pomona, went straight to Cal State San Bernardino, and finished my master's in rehab counseling. And you know what, for those 5 years, something I'm really proud of to say is I had a perfect academic record. I had a 4.0. I graduated my master's with a 4.0. Um, and,
Yay.
and people ask me all the time, is that the highlight, that you graduated with a 4.0? And I was like, man, I wasn't even trying for that. If anything, the biggest highlight of all of that, it wasn't, obviously I did, I'm a certified rehabilitation counselor. So I passed my certification test as well, which is 60% failure rate. It's a very difficult test. It wasn't passing that. It wasn't the 4.0. It was doing it without losing my mind, without stressing out as much. And you know why? Because there was a lot of veterans that helped support that. It was through my SVA chapter, the camaraderie that I had, people to lean on, other veterans, and that's what made me want to work harder, maybe to be more diligent in what we were doing and purposeful, not just to put stuff together, to have a rhyme and a reason of why we're putting these events together. In that process, I got involved with Student Veterans of America, and congratulations to Yogi, who was one of the finalists for Student Veterans of the Year. So many great people that were there that have been a part of this organization. Leadership Institute, that's another thing. We get this trip to go to Washington, D.C. and be with the premier leadership and student veterans across the nation. There's people from other countries, because you start to forget, oh shit, Puerto Rico counts, Guam counts. They're like, oh damn. And they show up to this wonderful programming, and oh man, it's one of the best things. And just to be there, living my best life. I'm about to turn 50 next year, and I'm just like, man, why did I do this shit when I was younger, when I still had the bones to instead every time I evaluate how bad I am by how far I'm willing to stretch down to pick up if it's a penny, I'm not. Hell no, that
Bro,
better be crumply. You know what I
I've
mean? It
been
better
doing
be
a
a piece
whole
of
bunch
paper.
of door knocking. I've been doing a whole bunch of door knocking, man, because I'm running for state representative, and I get up in the morning and I'm like hobbling to the bathroom and top of my feet hurt. I'm like, the top of my feet hurt from walking so much, man.
We
Oh,
we going hard, bro. We just if they run a total loss report on me, that's it. I'm salvage title, bro, all the way. The suspension don't work. The engine backfires all the time. Ah, man,
bro.
hey, at least the CPU unit's pretty good, but the rest of it, but again, it's just finding ways to and again, my energy comes from being around other people and yeah, in the moments I'm like, yeah, I'm just enjoying it, but then later on when I get home and I take off my shoes and I'm like, wow, man, my feet are killing me today, but totally worth it. I would do it, and tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing all over again and not even complain about it once.
So tell me, what is your favorite thing about being a student, a veteran, and being a student? What is the top thing that you love about that whole entire journey that you took?
Man, well, first of all, there's a lot of freebies in it too. I knew how to find everything. I got free hotspots. I was getting all kinds of stuff, and what it really taught me is knowing how to use your resources and your benefits effectively and efficiently. As a student veteran at the time, utilizing the VRNE program and getting a computer, getting the accessibility to technology that, like, my home office is dope, man. Like I'll show you guys real quickly. This is my home office right here. I got triple monitors. Come on, if you're gonna do it right, bro. So I used all these things to create all the tools I needed to be successful. And that's what I always tell student veterans, like, use your toolbox, right? A mechanic doesn't have just one, socket wrench and one screwdriver. No, he has a tool that he might only use once. Again, that's where us as veterans, we start to be, look, we're probably the most resilient bunch out of anybody on this planet. We can make anything work. That's when we like MacGyvers. Oh my God, like, there's a piece missing on a Humvee. Oh, that's not a problem. We'll find it some way, shape, or form. If not, we'll make it. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of mentality that you have to have as a college student. Of, hey, you got to expend all ammo. I'm a field artillery guy. I'm gonna go after everything. And yeah, I'm gonna get some no's, or maybe I might get a hey, better luck next time. But most of the time, things were being, yeah, okay. Oh, there's this, and then I go back like a metiche, like a tattletale. I'm like, hey, do you guys know there's a free hotspot down in that building over there? All you got to do is this. And then everybody's just walking around with little hotspots. Like, hell yeah. So it's, I think for me, the just the resiliency of figuring it out, and walk amongst these younger generations, which say some crazy wild stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff I have to really, like, bite my tongue, like, oh man, I can't say nothing, but it's cool.
It's kind of like being that barracks dad, that geo bachelor that has to take care of all the young ones again, right? It's like, you're that, you kind of almost, I feel like you get a better education as a veteran because you're seen and as somebody that the students come to and talk to, and it's an opportunity to not just learn, but also an opportunity to continue to lead forward, as a student. And the professors and the teachers and the instructors are all like looking at you, and you bring an extra element to that classroom. So I think having veterans in classrooms is amazing,
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, honestly, those 5 years, I thought it feels like in the beginning, it feels like it's gonna be a lifetime. 5 years, I was a full-time, student. And then after the 5 years are up, you're like, oh man, that went too fast. And you start to realize you had a great time. And honestly, the camaraderie of the student veteran population, and the military dependents, I'm old enough to be their dad, and so a lot of them saw me as that older uncle, father figure sometimes, which was kind of a weird dynamic, because I have the mentality of a teenager. I still say stupid jokes that, I still laugh at the word caca. You know what I mean? Like, I hear the word caca and I fucking lose it. And it's just like, and it's so silly. But again, it's just like, I had a blast. And then, to all be at the SVA National Convention in Colorado Springs with some of the best people that I've met on this planet. all in one place, man. It's a time in my life. So I work at the university now. I work at Cal State, and I get to design and build programs that are essentially built around veterans, the veteran experience, but also helping them leverage into the labor market, how to find jobs straight from the military, not wait too much time. No, I want to be able to get some of our service veterans now. We're working on some programs that our service members are going to have access to certifications, so that way when they get out, they can start applying to jobs right away, just like that. That's going to help with the suicide rate. There's so many different things that we're going to move the needle in the opposite direction. Right now, we're being reactive. Let's be proactive, and let's look at the generation that's in there right now before they become veterans. And so I get to help build these initiatives, and I don't build them on my own. I turn to the people that I admire and see what they're doing and say, hey, let's implement these models. And there's conversations that Yogi and I've had about some of the ideas, and it's just like, oh, now we're cross-pollinating, and we're like, oh, he's taking some of his ideas, taking some of my ideas, and we're putting them together. And at the end of the day, we're seeing change, and that's the best part. That's probably the best part of the whole thing. See, especially a veteran who might have been down on their luck, that didn't know what they were doing, and they get that aha moment. There's nothing better than that.
Absolutely. Meg, I know you're gonna you gotta bounce like Tigger.
Yes, I do. Ralph, I did want to ask you, were you at Penny's the comedy show the other couple weeks ago?
I was not. I was invited. I had just seen her. So a lot of those comics that were there, I actually helped her put it together.
Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't able to go myself. I was already had some plans and I was out of town. But just wanted to ask, since I know that you help support Penny, and Human Works and the collaborative help support Penny as well. So we helped with the flyer last year and helped with organizing the event. So was bummed I missed it. But I'm glad to see someone else that is supporting the veteran community here in Southern California. I'm based in Orange County, and then obviously, Yogi's in San Diego. So appreciate all the work that you're doing, and I appreciate, Chris and Yogi, all the work that you're doing as well. And thank you for creating this space for us to come connect and share those resources that are going to help support, our veteran community. So, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Orange County, Veterans Legal Institute, they're doing some pretty big things.
Yes, they are.
So
you talking about the Putz event that's next month on the
that's
20th?
going to be coming up, and then also they got the Lawyers for Warriors event in November, which will be their gala.
Yes.
So yeah, I work very closely with Robin Taylor, who's their new executive director. It's funny. It's like I know a lot of Orange County people, even though I'm not from Orange County, but that's how connected the military community is. So we all kind of find each other at some point. But Penny and I go way back to when I was doing stand-up, actually. So
wow.
Probably known to Penny for at least like 15, 16 years, something like that.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She really is.
Well, thank you all for letting me be in this space, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next month. And hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and look forward to talking with you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Megan, sending you a massive hug. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing.
Oh, no, thank you guys. Sorry to bounce.
No, you're good, Megan.
Okay.
So, Ralph, it's great to have you on here, man. And, picking brain. Oh, let's put Yogi in the, we don't want Yogi in the middle. No, it's good to have you on here, man. And, all three of us were all three veteran students, or have been at one point in time. That's like one of the important things is to get more veterans realizing that those benefits, they're great, like way to bridge the gap getting out of the military. Because if you're looking for, you don't, the first job you get may not be the best job, but when you go into using your GI Bill, your VR&E benefits, yellow ribbon, whatever it is, Calvet, it can really help you bridge that gap to find that next employment. And continue to learn and also continue to serve, because a lot of us have that service that's just deeply embedded in us. And I've found that being around other college students, being around that environment, I fulfilled that service as well, because you could get involved with the VRC, and you could get involved with a local, element inside the college, whether it be like your journalism branch, student uh, student leadership, whatnot. We can continue to do our thing in there, and that's like one thing that a lot of veterans have hard time with is, they just fall off, and then the gap happens, and then they find themselves in bad situation.
Yep. Yeah.
So what was it that inspired you to pick? What degree plan did you pick, and where did you end up?
So, so I have a degree in liberal studies. That's my bachelor's. I wanted to go into education. I always liked teaching, and I've been in front of crowds since I could remember. I mean, I must have been like 12 years old the first time I got in front of a group of people, and just always was comfortable with it. I thought that education was going to be my thing, and so I started my academic career back in 1997. So just fresh out, I decided like, oh, this is a great opportunity. I'm in the National Guard at the time now, and I'm like, oh, it's two weeks out of the year, 1 week in the month. This ain't bad. I go to Cal Poly, and there were no veterans resource centers back there. It was a window. It was, compare like we literally saw technology, the evolution of it. One of my first college classes ever, I was taking like an econ class, and the lady literally taught us, the professor was a whole lecture on how to navigate the internet. Like, that's how new it was.
Wow.
That, I know, that's like, when I tell that story, people are like, shut up, dude. Like, no, I was tripping out because I was already using technology, but there were students in that class that had to buy a Netscape Navigator. Like, that's how old it was, and so I immediately burned out, and I took a break, and I was like, whatever. And then my contract came up, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll extend. There's nothing happening. And then that was in 2000, and then we all know what happened in 2001. So years and years later, I wound up in the body shop business for a long time, and was successful in that. And again, teaching. I was an instructor for the classes that they teach in automotive, and then did a complete transition into something completely out of my realm, for sure. Is a complete 180. That's when I started doing stand up, and so professionally I did stand up for the next 10 years until the pandemic. And I got to travel all over the world and perform for the troops through USO, MWR, Armed Forces Entertainment, so on and so forth. And I got to meet a lot of great comedians that were also veterans, that are some of my best friends. Those are my brothers. We served by, and I love how we say still serving one joke at a time. That was like our motto. Because we've all been there. We've all been in instances where we got to see a comedy show, and I never thought that it was going to be like a full circle moment for me. Like, I used to think to myself, like, how did these guys get here? Like, who the fuck is paying these dudes? And I was, and truth is, good, bro. And I remember one day I was deployed, and I had a show, right? So I go up to the performers afterwards because I heard a few of them were from the LA area. I'm like, oh yeah, they're from Hollywood, whatever. And I said to him, hey man, so thank you guys for being here, and man, do you guys get paid to do this? And they're like, yeah, we get paid really good money. And I go, for that set? Holy shit, bro. Like, man, if you guys could do it, everybody could do it, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to disparage them, but they had no connection to the military community. Everybody, they were doing these jokes, and not to say that they weren't funny, but they weren't hitting, because they
weren't relevant to our community,
at all. And I was, and all the guys were that for my unit were like, hey Fig, you need to go up there and you need to be telling these jokes. I'm like, man, I would never be telling jokes. Yeah, never say never, right? Because next here I am performing, and that was an awesome thing that because there was a lot of self-healing in that for me personally, but to realize that for an hour and a half our service members, wherever they were stationed at, they all go through different stresses of their jobs, of their duties, of their locations, what's going on in the world. But for that hour and a half, if they can disconnect and feel like they're back in the real world, wherever they were at, that was like the satisfaction we got in that, and then I started getting to comedy business, producing and running my own shows, and my pictures up at the Ice House in Pasadena on the Wall of Fame there. And that's like, I always tell everybody, that's the equivalent of my college degree, but in comedy, is having my picture up on the wall of the oldest comedy club in the United States. And so
That's legit.
but the pandemic hits, and I'll be honest enough to tell you guys and the entire world, because a lot of people would ask me, I was getting tired. I mean, the traveling, like Yogi and I were just literally just talking about traveling, because this dude, my brother, has been doing, bro, I gotta say, Yogi, man, the stuff that you've been doing, that's next level stuff, brother. And I can't even begin to tell you how proud I am to say, that's my guy, that's my dude Yogi, that's my bro. Freaking proud of you. Like, I can't tell you, bro. It's like, because you're taking, especially us as Latinos too, we get the short end of the stick on even in higher education. That has nothing to do with veterans, just in general, right? And now you're seeing a lot of Hispanic veterans that are going out there and they're empowering others. And Yogi, my man, that's what you're doing, brother. That's why you were a finalist for Student Veteran of the Year. That's why you're in Leadership Institute. That's why you're doing what you're doing. And San Diego, you're changing San Diego, man. So I appreciate you, bro. I can't tell you, man. I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks, bro. That means the world to me. Knowing and coming from you, I look up to you. Not just because you're taller than me.
I was going to say, you have to look up.
He looks up to almost everybody that's around him.
I've never not seen him look up to anybody.
Well, no, that's not true.
Yogi, can you stand up to talk to us, please?
With the real Yogi, please stand up.
All 4'9" of them.
Hey, 5'2".
Hey, he's adorable.
Those
he can do everything.
Matter. Those 3 inches matter.
Don't listen to him. He is 4 foot. He's 4'9", and he does look like Mario in the real world.
That I do.
Yeah.
That I do.
Hey,
Everybody
Luigi.
knows. It's a me.
Yeah.
It's a Yogi.
But yeah, man, the comedy thing gets it, and just the travel gets it wears you down mentally, emotionally. I mean, you're in different time zones. So when the pandemic hit, it was kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you. And so that's when I was like, you know what, man? Oh, yeah. VRE thing, better ready. Back then it was still called vocational rehab and education and employment. And I was just like, I've never heard of this. And the guy on the phone, I'll never forget this guy. Still to this day, if I ever find out who that is, this guy literally changed and saved my life. Because I that's when I discovered that my GI Bill expires. And I'm like, oh, shoot, okay. Well, when do I have to use it? By May of 2020. I'm like, this is February of 2020 when this is happening. I'm like,
oh, wow.
How? Like, what am I going to I went on full fight or flight mode, because I'm like, so what do? Do I just give up and be like, oh, well, succumb to it? Or do I expend all ammo? And I jumped on the computer and I was doing Google searches and I was calling everybody. And that's by the grace of God that there's a guy at the Loma Linda VA who answered the phone and he says, hey, brother, have you ever heard of the VRE program? I'm like, nope, that's not even a real thing. He says, like, everybody's seen it. I go, bullshit, dude. So go look on your VA.gov. I'm like, I'm on my computer right now. Sure enough, there's the vocational rehab and employment program. And I'm like, what is, and then you got down that rabbit hole, right? So to
it's such a great program. It's such a great program
that are out there. If you have the accessibility using the VRE program, the caveat being all you need is a 10% service-connected disability, but beyond tinnitus. Tinnitus is the only one that they won't cover. But everything else, apply for this. I tell everybody it's the GI Bill on steroids, right? Because it does all the same things as GI Bill, but then they give you a counselor. All right, that's a little, we'll leave that at that. But you get technology.
That was controversial.
Yeah. How many times did your counselor change on you? Just curious.
But you get supplies. You get there's unlimited on books. There's so much parking passes, and I'm just like, okay, how am I not going to be successful with this? This is everything I needed. And then I finished my bachelor's, but then going into my master's in rehab, essentially I can work at VRNE as a counselor. Not that I'm going to, because it's a hot mess over there. I am going to try to fix it. I'm looking for solutions on offering them support to their counselors and training to get them more qualified counselors, because I hate to say this, and I'm not here to throw rocks at the brick wall right now, but I have to admit, and we can all agree to this, that our counselors in the VRNE program could do a little bit better job at understanding us, but also understanding the program. There was so many times that I heard from veterans that would talk to a counselor and they would give them misinformation. I'm like, wait. This is the source of the information. How is this information? They literally work for the VA. Yeah. How did they not have they were, oh, sorry, the VA didn't teach us that part. What is going on with it? So we're looking at other ways of supporting the counselors, because we have a master's program at Cal State San Bernardino. So I work very closely with the program coordinator, and we create viable opportunities for internships where they're going to get the cultural competency, and then also to get the better understanding of how the VRNE program actually works. And then once you get into the VA, they're going to teach you all the how to log in and all that other stuff, but you need to know the core concept of that. So now that I graduated, my focus has turned to, again, still in education. I work at the university as a Veteran Success Initiatives program manager. So my job is to design programs, frameworks, initiatives, projects, all of the above that support veteran success on our campus. So I don't work at the Veteran Center. I work completely independent from that. I'm on the Office of Academic Research. So our intentionality is more on looking at grant opportunities, finding funding so that we create these programs. And so, but we support all the veterans that are at the center. We support all the cadets. Talk about moving the needle. Our Air Force ROTC detachment at Cal State San Bernardino, it's huge. They have, in the last year and a half or 2 years, they've tripled in size. They're now, this semester, from what I heard from their cadre, there's going to be over 200 Air Force ROTC cadets.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed, but a lot of military, a lot of it's boomed. Like it's increased in recruiting. Mm-hmm. We are getting healthy in our numbers again. I want to read this comment from Seth Curry. It's such a big stigma about seeking counselors embedded in vets from being in the military. Sure, not all are great fit, but when you find the correct one for you, they're great. And that's a solid point. And one thing I wanted to point out is, what if we had more veterans while they're going to school, getting paid to be helping out with the VRNE program? Why do we not have more college veterans being enrolled in these programs that help? Because they could also find employment while also helping out veterans, which honestly, when veterans are transitioning, it helps out the transition other veterans at the same time. Right. It's super therapeutic.
Okay, so where are you going to have that conversation? Right? It's easier said than done. It's the same thing. We all know that. How many veterans have said this exact wording? The veteran transition sucks. The veteran transition is difficult. We all know that. We've gone through it ourselves. So my question, the follow-up question, is always, well, what are you going to do about it? And two, where are you going to have that conversation? So this is where like Yogi is doing something about it in the San Diego area. Some of the initiatives and the ideas of what he's creating is to move that needle in the opposite direction. Right now, we're being, again, reactive. We need to be proactive. What's missing, and we talked about this in DC, right? Yogi, was what's really missing is the coordinated effort after they get out. That's it. Once we can figure out, but again, where and who and how, and more importantly, who's going to pay for it, that's how we're going to start solving these solutions. So again, this is where what I'm working on is answering those exact questions of like, okay, let's create programs that will pay a veteran to intern, but also learn the skill set and also wind up with a job. But again, you need to have the programs that can do that. You need to have the support system that creates the internships. Well, just so you want to know, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm building currently in collaboration with the VA, with the VRNE program, but specifically through our master's in rehabilitation counseling program, and create viable internships that are. They now teach every semester, every fall semester, they have a class. It's called multicultural counseling, and MSWs take it. Clinical psychology will take it. Master's program. I'm just talking about masters. There's a lot of them that's because in order to understand disability and laws and legislation, you also need to understand how culture impacts the decision-making process, right? How each culture will inhibit or cause a certain group to, like, for instance, the Asian American community, they don't actively embrace the disability itself. So they see it as a stigma. They can, based on certain religions, they see that as a punishment, that maybe they didn't live a righteous life. And so now they have a child who has a disability. They shelter them. Not that they're hiding them. They just keep them closer to home, but they take good care of them, right? They're not. How many people with that are of Asian descent that have disabilities you see walking around? It's rare. You don't see a lot of them because, again, depending on the culture. So I raised my hand one day because we talked about African American culture, then we talked about the Hispanic culture. We're talking about every culture, and I said, "Hey, when are we going to talk about veteran culture?" And the professor was just like, "That's not a culture." And I was just like, I said,
yeah,
so,
man.
So,
we break the norm. We veterans break the norm, bro, and that's why we are very good
under every
counselors.
characteristic of every other marginalized group. It's the same shit. And you want to talk about traditions? Oh yeah, covered. You want language? Sure. There's going to be a lot of bad words in that language, but it's still language.
Yep.
Sorry, I once heard a female vet say this, and I use it as an example, but this is a true veteran sentence. She said, "Fuck the fucking fuckers," and I'm like, God damn, that's a lot of F words strung together, but that sentence made fucking sense, right? Because now why talk that way? Because she's overcompensating. She's in a gender dominated, that's right, male. So she wants to be one of the guys and blend in. And I remember everybody in that group was like, wow, we thought we had potty mouths. We're like, man, this one over here takes the cake. But
it's funny. It's funny when I'm standing on a church platform, I'm standing there talking, doing my campaign speech, and I go up there and I go, "Hey, I just want to apologize to everybody because I'm fresh off the boat and I'm a retired senior chief, so I may talk sailor, and just give y'all a heads up."
Yeah.
You have to preface.
So telling her, I was like, so language is one of our things. Like, tell me you're a veteran without telling me you're a veteran. Huh? Hoorah! Huh? All that other stuff, right? Everybody has their little thing, right? We have different, tell me you're a veteran without being a veteran. Oh, I'm gonna go hit the head, or I'm gonna go to the latrine. It's like little things like that it's part of our language. And I said, not only do we have culture, a veteran culture, a military culture, we have a subculture because each branch has its own version of its culture and its own traditions and its own birthdays. And I said, how is this not a culture? And she finally said, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. She was, and mind you, to her defense, one, she's from another country. Two, all her education is in like Wisconsin. And she's obviously not a veteran, so of course she's not going to understand what she doesn't understand. It's not a lived experience. But I said, well, this is my experience. I joined this program because of veterans. Specifically, it's like if you look up my CRC online, it will tell you my subcategory, my expertise is in the disabilities are automatic, but mine is veterans. So when we started talking about the cultural competency of how our future counselors need to understand these things, she says, oh yeah, then we need to teach a class. And by we, she meant she wanted me to do this. So last year we finally created our own intro to veteran culture during the multicultural counseling class. And now will forever be taught at Cal State San Bernardino as part of their curriculum. And look, at the end of the day, I want to change more lives, but if I could leave little things like that behind. Now my curriculum will live in perpetuity forever, that somebody can teach, but ain't nobody gonna do the first one but me. So I went in there and man, I killed that class. I had them just at the end, the students all gave me a round of applause, and my professor's like, hey, she goes, I've been teaching for like X amount of, I've never had students, give me an applause, and then she goes, this is the first one and you already knock it out the park. And I'm like, hey, some people got it, some people got it. Can't complain.
Bro. Ralph, we really do appreciate you coming on here and hanging out with us and sharing some of your wisdom and your experience as a student leader, and also what you got going on in legislation and stuff like that. It is so important that we get veterans out there that help in that piece. That's one of the biggest things that I'm really advocating for, is that veterans stand up and start leading the charge, because we know how to lead and we need to start bringing it, so thank you for doing that, Ralph.
Yep, no problem. And thank you guys again for letting me kind of just shoot the proverbial shit with you guys. Keep up the good work. And Yogi, hey man, keep doing your thing, brother.
Let's do it, bro. Hey, you're invited next month. We'll do the same thing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
same time next month. Let's do it.
Go. All right.
All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for hanging out with us today here on Mill to Vet. Remember, it is not all rainbows and unicorn, and it is your transition. You need to take charge of it. Yogi and Chris and Ralph, we're out of here. You guys join us next month, same time next month. All right, let's go.